Hello friends, it's Karen Cornell, your Creative Memories Advisor. I'm excited to scrapbook, but I'm looking at myself in this video and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so tired. So if you're so tired but you still want to scrapbook, just go for it because that's what I'm doing. So we are doing project recipe number 12 and I'm doing a school layout, and I was inspired this week because I am working on my 2020 album and I'm to March. And we know what March 2020 brought us, and it was COVID 2020 and virtual school. And I'm to that point in the layout where I have so many pictures because the kids were at home and I was their teacher, and it was craziness. So let me switch my camera. So this is the layout. You will need 3 pieces of designer paper. You will use the reverse on the designer paper 1 and 2. And you will need background paper, or you can do it right on the pages. But so basically like 5 sheets of paper or cardstock. I use blue cardstock, and then I also used different collections that I will tell you about in just a minute. But I am happy with how the layout turned out. I was inspired by, I picked my papers based on this fun little embellishment that I bought years ago at a retreat. And I'm going to add more embellishments down here depending on what pictures I have. And but I've got lots of school little pictures and, or not pictures, embellishments and stickers. So I'll add that there, and maybe a little bit more up here. But it's going to be a fun layout. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So I am actually using kind of a hodgepodge of collections. So I'm really trying to use up my stash. So this is from, these 2 papers are from, I believe, Fresh Fusion. Yeah, Fresh Fusion. These 2 are Fresh Fusion. And this is from a school theme pack from years ago. And it has the cool notebook paper on it. And then I just use cardstock paper as my background. And so you'll need 5 sheets. You'll definitely need your first one for designer paper A. You will be using both sides and you need to fold it. For designer paper 2, you will use the reverse side, but I'm probably not, this is just a layering for like right here and right here. And I'm probably not going to do that because the paper that I love this paper, but I didn't like this on the background but it may work out. I think I don't really need it because I'm going to cover it up with a photo, but we'll see. And then this is my final designer paper because it had this stuff on the back. Remember this paper? Really hard to work with for me, but I do like this paper, so in small amounts. So it's gonna be perfect for what I need it. So you will need a border punch, a border maker cartridge, and I am actually going to use the notebook edge because I'm doing a school layout, and this is my title. I'm so excited. I bought this years ago and it's perfect. And I'm hoping this is going to get me inspired to scrap these COVID pictures that I'm getting ready to do. And let's get started. So we're going to put this away. And don't worry if you don't have the book. I will walk you through every step. So because this is directional, I want to make sure that I'm going to cut it this way. So you're going to turn it on its side. And you're going to cut 6 inches. And on this, we are actually going to go ahead and get our scoring blade out. So we have this, we might as well use it, right? So you're going to need to switch out your blade, and I love how easy it is to just pop them in. I do try to make sure that I always have the shutter right here matches the shutter right here, so they go towards each other, because sometimes the blade will invert itself, like go the other way than what it says, and you have like kind of a two-way blade, but that way it always does it the way that you think it's going to, and that kind of helps me. So this is going to be this way. Okay, so I want to have these two be the same. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to 2 and to 4. So 2 inches here and 4 inches here, just so I can keep track. And then I'm going to score it. Just line your paper up on this 45-degree angle, and then you're going to score it. Then, since this is here, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to line it up again, 2 inches and 4 inches, and that 45-degree angle. And then they'll fold here, and then this way here, and that way they'll be the same. So that's how that works. Makes it a little bit easier, and I'll go ahead and put that down, and I'll put this down, because I figured out I had done it when I scored it the first time. They weren't equal, and I guess I didn't measure them up the same, and this way if I flip the paper, then I can make sure they're the same. So then the next thing you want to do is you want to get rid of that scoring blade and put that straight blade back in. And I always put it back here so I don't lose it. I just love rainbow order. Love it. Okay, moving on. Get your designer paper number 2. And we are going to punch our border first. So get your border maker system, the border punch that you would like to use. I would choose one that stays connected because they want to have that straight edge at the bottom and how it overlaps. See how it has a straight edge and you're layering it with that? I guess you could change it up and just do a separate one, but you will punch the border and then you're going to cut it. So let's get our little mat here. Sorry, I'm feeling a little discombobulated. I'm fixing it though. I'm getting right. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to cut this at 1.5. So you're going to line up your edges of your notebook paper to 1.5. And then cut it. Then you're going to do the same thing again. I'm glad I'm able to use some of this paper because these collections, I kind of used all my favorite papers, and so then I have like just random papers left, and I'm trying to use up this paper I have. I've got so much paper. But I still love buying new. Can we talk about those Black Friday bundles? Holy cow, y'all. They are gorgeous. And they sold out so fast. Craziness. I loved all the bundles, the Black Friday bundles. Especially that new music one. Oh, yeah. Music teacher loves it. Okay, so now we're going to cut out 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we're going to go straight down 4 1/4. And then we're going to cut out a square of 4 1/4. And another square of 4 1/4. It's funny how when you have paper and you're like, I just don't like that paper. And then it's because you haven't found the perfect layout for it and what you're going to use for it. I thought this was great because it's like a cursor. I didn't have much to cut off of that because I had my border. And then we're going to do 4 1/4 here. And then another 4 1/4. And these are flipped. So go ahead and flip it so you know. And then our last piece, we're going to cut 2 inches by 12. Another 2 inches by 12. And then we're going to do 6. Well, we'll just go ahead and do 2 because that'll leave 6. So 2 inches. And we'll cut this by 4. And then another by 4. Oh, I just realized I'm not even on the camera. Sorry. Need to look up sometimes, don't I? And then we're going to turn this and cut it at 4 1/2. 4 1/2? Yes, 4 1/2. And then another one by 4 1/2. See, when you cut that 2 inches off at the end, then you don't have to pull out the arm on your trimmer. Saves time. So that is all the trimming. So let's get our paper where it needs to go. I feel like, let me move my camera over a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to have this on here. And this like this. Oh yeah, this is cool. And this like this. Cut this in the middle a little bit. Move this down. There we go. And this will be like this. Then we have this. Then we have this. I love when they're squares because they're easy to put down. Oh, I love how that turned out. Definitely love that. Oh, and this looks cool with the yellow there. Okay, I kind of like it now. I was totally against it, but I think it'll be okay. And that's that. So most of this will be covered up anyway because you're going to have your photos like this. And you could probably do a bigger one than that because they call for a 3 1/2 by 5 and this is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. But if you have a 4 by 6 or a 4 by 5, you could still fill that space in a little bit better because if you had the 4, you're still seeing everything. So I'm just kind of making do with my card placements. And then the great title here. I think it's going to be good. Should have taken that out ahead of time. But isn't that perfect? Totally perfect. Okay, love it. Okay, let's us get it all down. Here I go again, starting on the right-hand side. Isn't that so funny? Lots of you said you do the same thing. But here's a funny but true story about COVID times in my household. So I am a former music teacher. I taught elementary music for 16 years. Absolutely loved my job. I never felt like it was a job because it was just so fun making music with all the kids, and it was just so much fun. But when I had kids, I never thought I would become their teacher. So I will never forget my daughter running off the bus and telling me, Mommy, I brought my computer home because we're going to be home. The schools are closed for 2 weeks. And then 5 minutes later, I get an email from the school saying that schools are shutting down because of this virus that's around. And so I was that mom that I spent every night working. I turned our dining room into a schoolroom, and I would spend every evening writing lesson plans in a notebook, set our schedule for the day. We had art, music, and PE, like a craft every day. PE was basically being outside. My oldest daughter learned how to ride a two-wheeler during COVID, so that was fun. And then we would have music, and I ended up teaching my daughter how to play the piano because we needed more music. We had to come up with something else to do. And I really wrote down all the lesson plans every day, y'all, because I was afraid that if I couldn't prove that my child was doing work, that they wouldn't let her go to the next grade. So yes, I was that crazy, like, paranoid mom. But they never checked for my lesson plans. But I love telling the principal that story because she was like, oh my goodness, you really did that? I said yes. But I had great plans. My kids loved it. They loved having a plan. Like, we had story time every day because my youngest was in preschool, and her preschool would have, the teachers would dress up and do the most amazing story times. It was so cute. And so I just had both my girls do that every day. We did story time. We had music. It was fun. I turned our music room into a real music room. I got all the xylophones out, and I taught my daughter poetry with the xylophones. It was fun. It was crazy. So I have a lot of pictures of me teaching them and crazy times. So, and it's been hard to get motivated to scrapbook all that. So I'm hoping this fun layout will get me motivated because that's where I am. That's where my next stop is in my yearly album. And yes, I'm not far behind, but I'm really bound and determined to get kind of caught up on that. This year and next year, I've done really well this year. And I think it's mainly due to this 52 project recipes. So I'm going to have to come up with something for next year. It's still in the works of what I'm planning on doing. I will announce it before the end of the year what the plan is, so stay tuned. But I love that I've been able to make lots of layouts this year, use lots of these layouts, and get lots of scrapping done. It's fantastic. Then we're going to do this up here. Oh, here it is. I was like, where's my polka dots? And I love hearing from all of you as well about how successful you've been this year. It's really exciting, isn't it, that we're getting lots done. And if you don't want this little sheet of paper, you don't have to do it because you're gonna cover it up with a photo anyway, so I'm just putting it on there. I may take it off when I get my photo. Go. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so cute. And then I've got lots of other school embellishments that I will add down here. It's so cute. That's the layout. I hope you guys had fun doing this layout. I hope this inspired you to get another layout done this year. So I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy scrapping!